Assalamu alaikum. Today, we will learn the beautiful story of Prophet Suleiman, peace be upon him, the son of Prophet Dawood, peace be upon him. Let's begin.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. Across the long history of prophethood, Allah chose certain servants and honored them with rare gifts, wisdom, leadership, and responsibilities that tested their hearts. Among them was Prophet Suleiman, a king and a prophet. His story is not only about power and miracles, but about justice, gratitude, discipline, and devotion to Allah. He commanded armies that no human ruler could imagine, yet he remained humble before his Lord. This is the story of Prophet Suleiman, a leader whose greatest strength was not his kingdom, but his obedience to Allah.
Prophet Suleiman, peace be upon him, was the son of Prophet Dawood, peace be upon him. Allah blessed Dawood with strength, wisdom, and leadership over Bani Israel. And from among his children, Suleiman was chosen to carry forward prophethood. The Quran tells us that Suleiman inherited Dawood, meaning he inherited the responsibility of prophethood and righteous leadership. But Suleiman did not rise through wealth or status alone. He rose through knowledge, fear of Allah, and sound judgment. And even at a young age, Allah granted him wisdom that amazed people around him. In a famous Quranic account, a difficult case was brought before Dawood. Both Dawood and Suleiman judged, but Allah granted Suleiman a deeper understanding of the matter. This is a reminder that leadership in Islam is not based on popularity, but on guidance from Allah.
Allah gave Prophet Suleiman gifts that were unique in human history. He was granted control over the wind, which carried him swiftly across great distances. He was also given authority over the Jinn, who worked under his command by the will of Allah, building, diving into the seas, and performing heavy tasks that humans could not manage. And Allah even taught him the language of birds and animals. Yet none of these powers belonged to Suleiman personally. They were not magic, they were not self-made achievements. They were miracles from Allah, tools for prophethood and justice. Suleiman knew that a kingdom is a test, and every gift can either raise a person closer to Allah or destroy them through arrogance. So Suleiman made a historic dua. He asked Allah for a kingdom that would not be granted to anyone after him, not for pride, but as a sign of Allah's favor and as a responsibility he would carry with humility. One day, Prophet Suleiman marched with an enormous army, men, jinn, and birds, all moving in perfect order. As they approached a valley, Allah reveals a powerful moment in the Quran. An ant called out to its people, warning them to enter their homes so they would not be crushed unknowingly by Suleiman's army. When Suleiman heard this, he did not laugh in arrogance. He did not ignore it. Instead, he smiled and immediately turned to Allah in gratitude. He asked Allah to keep him thankful, to guide him to righteous deeds, and to admit him among Allah's righteous servants. This scene teaches something rare. A prophet with unmatched power still valued the life of a tiny creature. True leadership is shown in how you treat those who are weaker than you. Suleiman's authority was built on discipline and accountability. Even his soldiers were not above being questioned. When he once noticed the absence of the hoopoe bird, he did not ignore the matter. He demanded a clear reason. That is how responsible leadership works: order, commitment, and truth. Among the most well-known events in Prophet Suleiman's life is his encounter with the powerful kingdom of Sheba, ruled by a queen. The Hubhu bird returned with major news. This queen and her people were worshipping the sun instead of Allah. Suleiman did not respond with personal anger. He responded like a prophet. He sent a letter, clear, firm, and dignified, inviting the queen to submit to Allah, the Lord of all creation. The queen was intelligent. She consulted her advisors. She chose not to rush into war, and instead approached with caution and wisdom. When she arrived, Suleiman showed her signs that made her realize the truth was greater than her kingdom. Allah guided her to a moment of clarity. She acknowledged her wrongdoing and submitted to Allah, declaring her faith with Prophet Suleiman. This was not a political victory. It was a victory of Tawheed, the message that all prophets came with, to worship Allah alone without partners.
The story of Prophet Suleiman, peace be upon him, teaches us that power is not proof of greatness. Faith is. Suleiman had control over wind, jinn, and armies, yet he feared Allah more than he feared losing his kingdom. He stayed humble, grateful, and responsible. In today's world, many people chase influence, wealth, and authority, but Prophet Suleiman shows that the real question is not how much you have, it is how you use it. If Allah gives you knowledge, use it with sincerity. If Allah gives you leadership, lead with justice. If Allah gives you wealth, spend it with gratitude. And if Allah gives you strength, protect others, not harm them. A believer's success is not measured by status, but by obedience to Allah. So let this story be a reminder. No matter what blessings we carry, we must always return to Allah with humility, gratitude, and sincere worship.
Thank you for watching. Assalamu alaikum.